Hey guys, welcome back to Jason Unleashed. How's it going? Jason Carter here. It's Friday. The weekend is here. 4th of July weekend is here. And I could not get it together with my outfit. So all you guys get today is a fitted and a t-shirt. But what else you guys get today is an amazing guest because Drag Race royalty is deep up in the show. Morgan McMichaels is stopping by. Drag Race sister. I'm so happy to have her on. Season 2, All Stars 3. And just an overall drag superstar, an international drag superstar. I mean, when you say Morgan McMichaels on any continent, they're like, yes, we are here for all of that. It's Morgan McMichaels. So she's going to be here in just a few. Hope you guys had a great week. This week has been busy, but fun and really cool. And it seems like people are trying to get back to a new normal and trying to get back to some sort of just normalcy, I guess, if you will. I don't have a word for what we're trying to do because everything has just been so not the norm, right? From COVID to social unrest to racism, everything we have experienced in 2020 has been life-changing, good and bad. So I hope everyone's doing okay. I hope your mental health is in check and you're keeping an eye on that because without your health, you have nothing. And that is real. Y'all know the drill. Boom. Questions below. I'll try to get to them. Comments, hit us up, celebrate Morgan. Let me see if she's said hello yet. Morgan, where are you? And people, whoa, that's a whole message in Mandarin. Thank you guys. I don't think Morgan's here yet. Boom. Wait, I can go here and see, right? I can go see who is watching. No, not Morgan's not here yet. Okay, we're gonna hang out. There's Morgan. Hi, Morgan. Let's bring Morgan in. Go live with Morgan. Morgan with an ass like mine. I was listening to Morgan's latest single all morning long. The video. Why was I not in the video, Morgan? Morgan, why was I not in your video? Hi, Morgan. Why was I not in your video?
I don't know.
Hi, Morgan. How you doing?
You could be in the next one.
Yes.
Be in the next one.
Yes, we're going to make that happen. Hey, good to see you, brother. How are you?
I'm good. You look very, very handsome today.
Oh, my God. Thank you. I rolled out of bed because I refused to brush my hair and do anything. I was like, Morgan gets an LA fitted and a drag con shirt, and we're keeping it pushing.
Yeah, I like that. I can't be mad at you for anything.
Hi. First of all, how has your life been in quarantine? And Yummy Cupcake, hello. We got to say hi to Yum Cupcake. She's a huge fan. How has your life been? How has your life been in quarantine, Morgan? You're always busy, but what has COVID-19 looked like for you?
Obviously, I have missed performing on stage in live action. But I'm really very lucky, and like most LGBT people, we're really creative and we find ways to make money and entertain. So I like that. I've been working a lot with universities digitally, and basically it's just like drag bingo instead of going, to the universities. And of course, I've been very fortunate because I call the people that love and support me my Morgasms. They have been purchasing tickets for my digital drag shows as well. And of course I do cameos. So that's the next step. This is all going today because it's cameo time. So.
Well, Morgan, you have been one of the queens. I mean, I've known you for years. I mean, you're a good friend. But for people who have just been able to see you as a performer and see you as Morgan, you have been someone whose ingenuity just keeps on evolving. Your looks keep on evolving. Who you are a reinvention at its finest, because we've seen so many different layers, so many iterations of Morgan from season 2 to All Stars, even to just today and on your Instagram and everything you put out. You find a way to not only infuse your authenticity, but to make it new. How do you stay creative all the time? Where does that come from?
Madonna.
Madonna.
Well, Madonna is the queen of reinvention, and I think that's the key to success. There's obviously season 2 was groundbreaking, and then each season of Drag Race has become more and more fantastic and more epic, and just the costuming, the makeup, the entertainment value. The girls are fierce, so you have to be able to keep your head above water. And what do you do? How do you do it? So right. I just find new ways to try and reinvent, and of course it comes with performance as well. Like, I look for music outside of the top 40. I look for performance ideas outside of what everyone else is doing. But I don't know. I just always think like it's our responsibility as queens to keep the attention on yourself without being negative.
Yeah.
Like that's how I think about things.
When I used to go to Mickey's for Showgirls, and like every Monday, and when you were performing, you're so right about you would always come out with something that was completely from left field, but yet artistically on the money. Because anyone could do the top 40. Anyone could say, oh, let's do a Selena Gomez, a Taylor Swift, but some of your choices were just like, only Morgan would think to do a Hillary Duff song with props and like the whole experience. And the people are likening these lip sync assassins as to something that's very new, but your drag mother, Chad Michaels, is the original lip sync assassin, and you yourself are this amazing performer. Growing up, inspirations that have shaped Morgan the performer. Who could, like, looking back at some of those people, who like stuck with you the most and really was that one person that said, you know what, I want to do what they do?
Well, I remember the first day I moved to the United States from Scotland. I'd met a guy on AOL M4M chat. Yeah.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. And I was looking for friends. I didn't want to come to the United States and not really know anybody, so I kind of, pre-gamed. And he took me to a nightclub in Buena Park called Oz. And I saw Raja performing that night. That was the first time I'd ever seen drag in a performance. I'd only ever known Lily Savage. So that night I saw Raja, Chanel, Pauline, who was a queen down here in Southern California, and Trina Modell, who used to go by the name Shadonna. And there was a group of girls called the Disney Princesses, and they were drag queens that performed as a group. And that was the first night I met Delta work as well. And she wasn't in the show, but I'll never forget it. I walked in to the club, and as you walked in, there was like pool tables and a fireplace. And Delta was sat at the fireplace, head to toe lingerie, fan and a purse, and she was just so phenomenal. And she was just sitting there so fantastically. And I went up and spoke to her, and like, that was my first memory of a drag queen, like meeting one was Delta, and we've been very tight ever since. So,
I love that, because like with Mayhem, you had mentioned that season two was really when Drag Race entered the zeitgeist, and people were like, what is this? What are we watching, and why are we loving it? Why is this so different? Why is this changing the landscape of television? And people tried to label you as the bad girl. As you came out, you were labeled as the firecracker, the rancorous one, because you had this energy and this fire. And looking back at the group, you, Delta, Raja, Mayhem, queens have come and gone. Queens have come and gone, but you especially have been able to stick around and be successful and have a career, but also have dedicated fans that are like your Morgasms that hinge on everything you do, from your podcast to music to any appearance to you out of drag. They love you. What do you think about the state of drag now?
I love it. I always, I feel like the scrutiny of drag queens now is so much more than it was back on season 2. And I hear a lot of complaints about, well, the new seasons of drag, the newer queens from the newer seasons are this or that, and they're not the old girls. But we had so much. It's a different playing field. Like on season 2, there was not really any social media to contend with. Like we just did it, and social media was really just breaking out into this big fantastic thing that it is now. So yes, we were a little bit more organic because there was not really any fear when it came to like being who we are.
Yeah.
I think that the prizes and the accolades now for the newer season girls are way more, but they have a lot more to contend with. So it's a different edge of the sword, really. But I love it. I think that if we use the platform that RuPaul gave us correctly, then we can change the whole landscape of what's going on. And that's what she did. Like in the 90s, obviously with Supermodel of the World
Hmm.
and, you know, the Foxy Lady album, which is one of my favorites.
Same.
She changed the whole landscape of that. And then 20 years later, she did the same thing with RuPaul's Drag Race. So that's the lowest common denominator for what I think RuPaul is trying to teach us. She basically says, use your power for the good and do it with love. So I don't know. That's just how I think about where drag should be.
Well, where drag should be is it's ever evolving. But do people like? First of all, hi, Ali Baby says hi. Cheerin. There's so many people that are celebrating you right now in the comments. I love it. Do people do drag babies reach out to you, Morgan, and ask for advice, or like, or what do you say to someone who is wanting to embark on a career in drag? Let's keep it 100%. Drag is a business. People don't realize, at its core, absolutely artistry. It is an art form, but presently and going forward, and what it has been is a business. It's a multi-million-dollar business. We're seeing shows like we're here with queens are paid to be
Yes.
who they are. So what do you tell someone that wants to embark on a career in drag? What do you say to them?
Well, I don't know if queens are paid to be who they are.
Oh, okay. Divulge.
Because obviously there's a lot of, it's television. It's again, it's entertainment. So, you know, I sometimes I'm honest to a fault, and it's sometimes my downfall, you know, because I'm too honest and I'm too
Unfiltered. Right.
yes. And that's just being Scottish. That's just the way I was raised. That's a Scottish thing, to just lay it down. So I think a lot of queens create characters, and either way, it is a business, but you have to remember that you have to keep ethics in your business, and you have to keep morality in your business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what separates, you know, a business person and a true queen, because there's a lot of things that you could do to step over the backs of others and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, undercut and do all these things that have happened, that I've seen happen. But I can't subscribe to those things. And I think that's why, you know, people like myself and Delta, Raven, Mayhem, and Raja, we all have this ethical morality thing that we kind of have always run by.
I liken you guys to the Holy Trinity plus two, like the Linda, the Cindy, the Naomi, because that was a magical time in that industry, right? And when you look at drag and look at Drag Race, and of course, when every season, as you say, gets bigger and bigger, and the show is like this cultural phenomenon, it's global. People love Drag Race, but there is a time, and there are certain queens that you were like, yes, I almost fell. I almost fell on my own show. Like what? But you look at these queens and you think like that was, I don't want to say the golden era of Drag Race, but that was a special time in Drag Race. And I think you being unfiltered has also lent itself to people looking for leadership from you, because even now, Morgan, I have seen you so many times at a show call somebody out for their stupidity, for not celebrating a queen, for not being an ally, for being disrespectful. And now with everything that's happening with racial injustice and LGBTQ plus, you have turned your Instagram into, and your social media and all of your outreach into this safe space for not only people that are not for not only people that for people that are people of color, but also to call out the bullshit and the racism that is rampant in America. How has that response been for you from your fans? Because also people that have been doing that have been losing followers, have been attacked by people they didn't even know were racist, right?
Yeah.
So what is it? How's that been for you?
Well, I mean, I don't give a shit about losing followers, like, at all. Like, it's just not even on my radar, and ever since 2016, of course, with the big decisive voting, Hillary Trump thing, I was very pro-Hillary, obviously. That's who I wanted to vote for. And at that time, that's when I really started promoting the Black Lives Matter movement. And every day, it was posts about politics and Black Lives Matter. And obviously, because of this terrorism of Black Americans, and I say that word because that's what it is. It's straight up terrorism of Black Americans. it's not about me. I have this platform, and I decided that I was going to stop posting pictures of myself and what I was doing and all of this kind of shit, and just simply post about Breonna Taylor and Elijah McCain and George Floyd and all of our trans family that's being murdered. We lost 3 trans women this week to murder. So are my pictures really that important, or is posting these things more important? And that's what I think it is. And it is decisive because I have started something called the name and shame game. And it's calling out racists for their behavior. And basically, I get a lot of people that send me like, oh, this person's a racist, but there's no evidence, and I can't just go off of opinion. So if I see something that I feel is racist, I post the person's social media, anything that's public, so I'm not doxing them. Because there's a fine line there. So you just have to post the comment they made, their social media, and I don't ask my Morgasms to attack anyone. I say, maybe this person's employer should understand what this person's point of view is, because there's a reaction to every action. There's consequences to your free speech. Yes, everyone's allowed free speech, but what they don't understand is that there is consequences for your free speech. And I just don't understand, for the life of me. I just don't understand. It boggles my mind why some people think that white power, white supremacy is an actual thing. Like, I can't even begin to understand why people think that they're better because of the color of their skin. That's insane. That's a mental disorder or something. It has to be.
100%, I agree. And what you just described about being factual, not doxing, is actually you being an incredible journalist, because you're the core and the foundation of journalism is facts, fact checking and doing your homework. So by you being able to be like, I can't go off of opinion, but I can go off of public record, is very smart. And I'm not sure if you really recognize that, because that's a huge deal. And I think, we have what's happening now, Morgan, is the knee-jerk reaction is to cancel and to vilify without proof or receipt of why they're doing what they're doing. So kudos to you for knowing the difference and actually elevating that, because that's the flip side of this, is that people are weaponizing this movement to pretty much do to others what's been done to them, and that's not right either. There's a better way.
Unfortunately, the cancel culture issue, some people just need to be fucking canceled. And there's no argument about it. Like, there are a lot of let me get that out again. There are a lot of beauty influencers that have been racist.
100%.
Continue to be racist. And the problem is that no one's being checked because of fear of being called out or like rebuttal from fans. I don't give a fuck. If you want to step up, come to the house. And we'll see what's up. I'm not afraid of people. Someone's asking if I've gotten backlash. I have lost a lot of followers because they don't like the aggressive take that I'm putting on this, calling out people, talking about, making phone calls to district attorneys and police chiefs and making sure these people are accountable. I've lost a lot of people, but that's the way it fucking goes.
Yeah.
If you were not on that train with me, this is one thing that we cannot debate.
Right.
We can debate left and right. Who won the lip sync last Friday? That's a debate. That's a conversation. That's whatever. Racism is not a conversation. It's not a debate. There's no my side, your side.
Right.
It's just not. And it's unfortunate that we see a lot of queens only posting a little black square. And that's all they posted. But, racism is rampant everywhere, especially in the RuPaul's Drag Race family and fandom.
And people are so shocked when the family talks about that, because the show is founded in Everyone Say Love, and the show, great people. The show's awesome. Has nothing to do with the show. It's the fans and the way they interpret what they see on the show. And I mean, I've had many a conversation with so many queens about the toxicity, especially queens of color that have experienced it on so many different levels across the world, and it's real. Some of the Reddits and the things that I read in these like really dark, subversive parts of the internet about Drag Race are just like, how was this even a conversation when this show is about, one, as a community, we constantly want to be accepted, we want equality, we want all these things that our heteronormative and cisgender counterparts get. But yet, when within our own home, we are the worst to each other. And then there's so many different levels to that type of horrible behavior, from the way we body shame to the way queens, the colorism with our Black brothers and sisters. It just goes so deep and it goes so far, but yet people are so shocked when you say, yeah, the fandom is some of the most toxic in humanity on a show that is built on love and acceptance,
especially coming from the main star, the producer, the creator of the show is a Black man who does drag. But, you know, it's not all the fans are toxic.
Right.
Not all the fans. And I implore, every time I post about it or go live, I always implore my Morgasms to call out the racism in the fandom. If you see a comment, screen grab it. Screen grab that person's profile and post it. It starts with the fans. It starts with the fans. For all of the fans that show us love and support unconditionally, is your job to get out there and call out your counterparts that are also fans of the queens. You know, and it's so heartbreaking to me, because someone like the Vixen, who is so well read, who is so well informed, looks like an angry Black bitch. That's her. That's the tag there.
Right.
That's the tag there. Same with Raja O'Hara. Raja O'Hara has an opinion, and she's quite well read when it comes to the things that she's talking about. But she's just an angry Black bitch. But then there's so many more. It's not just racism. It's sizeism. It's you know, everybody wants the big girls to be jolly, and so people like Darian Lake or Delta Work, who have opinions, who are very smart and unapologetic about their weight, they're bitches. You know, I've gotten it on the opposite end of the spectrum. Delta Work and I have spoken about it before, because I'm thinner and I'm, you know, really kind of, people say that I have AIDS and I'm a meth addict and, you know, my teeth are fake and all because of the drugs. But these are things that are just opinions. And I'm like, what does it do for you to say things like that to people? Right. Now, I'm obviously I have a very tough exterior, so it doesn't really bother me. I could give a shit, because unless you feed me, fuck me, or finance me, I don't really care. But like, when the Work the World thing came out and we saw Asia speaking about being removed from photos because the fans didn't want a photo with her, that's just unacceptable. Unacceptable. And it's only because she's a Black woman.
Right.
And, you know, we see all these white girls on RuPaul's Drag Race that have millions of followers, and their counterparts, who are queens of color, Shea Coulee, just hit 1 million. How did Shea Coulee just hit 1 million?
Yeah.
What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, look at people like Latrice and I don't know. It actually infuriates me. I'm actually been hot talking about it.
I mean, Morgan, I have, even in the pit crew, I mean, there was a time someone slid into my DMs 2 years ago and asked for the email addresses for 2 pit crew people that were not Black, and said that they didn't want me, they only wanted the white pit crew members, and asked me to connect them. And I'm thinking like, no, yeah, I mean, 100% no. This was a bar in the Midwest. And it was just like, but even like social media, you can tell from and it's not that matters, but those are barometers and indicators of how, and the way people are communicating with you, their opinions about you, in the followings, in the engagement, in appearances where they don't want you in the picture. Those are direct messages if I've ever seen them. You know, it's just how you interpret them. But it's sad. It's sad. But that is the state of the reality we're living in, and it also speaks to just the state of reality that we're living in outside of the fandom and outside of the community, just in general. You know, and we want change, but what does change look like? Really, what does change look like to you?
Well, again, it has to start with the queens. It has to start with the fans. A lot of people are constantly screaming online about making change. Like, oh, you guys better change. RuPaul's Drag Race better change. But what they don't realize is that the art of conversation is now kind of deceased. It's done. And if they use their voices correctly and calmly, you know, I think that maybe a petition to change, like if we're just talking about Drag Race, if they want change on Drag Race, use the petitions, talk to, you know, each other and find out a way to move forward as a group. Because the fans are the numbers. And the network will listen to the fans. But when it comes to racism and the toxicity of that, in this community, I feel like every single queen that has 1 million followers should be doing something to promote the girls that don't. Like, it takes the queens.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I broke my leg in Australia, for instance, Mystique Summers Madison was the first bitch to jump on the train and start that whole GoFundMe. And that's what sisters do. You sisters have to make sure that we're there for each other.
Right.
And to stop the racism is I don't allow any racist shit on my page.
Right.
I don't allow any negativity. If I see it, you're blocked. And that's just it. And my orgasms are really good. They're very respectful. I've never really seen anything. And I look on the other queens' posts to see, you know, whenever like Mayhem or Jasmine Masters Jasmine Masters got death threats. One of the nicest people in the world ever. Really funny, really fucking funny. Very kind. The nicest person. Why would you send death threats to Jasmine Masters? You know, it's just the death threats. Again, like I say, roll up to the house and we'll see what's up. I'm not afraid of death threats because I don't see you.
Yeah.
You're not going to come up to me. You're not going to step up to me. So you can say what you want. And I'll tell you, like, a lot of the queens are not pussies.
Yes, I know.
You know, sending Jasmine Masters a death threat and online is one thing, but Jasmine would fucking wreck you. Jasmine would wreck you without question if you stepped to her like that. But it's up to the queens. The queens need to tell their fans it is not an option for you to be a racist or use racist verbiage at all. I'm sorry.
Because it's much like when we talk about Trump and his base, that Trump says that, oh, I'm not a racist. I don't know why my base is these white nationalists, is these people, but yet obviously these are the people who follow you, and obviously the message that you're sending out, they're interpreting is that as racism. So in the case of a queen, these are your base. It is your job to lead your base and to nip shit in the bud if it's antithetical to what you claim you believe. I 100% believe that. But as you said, I mean, there's so many beautiful and wonderful things in the fandom, and the show is incredible. It's changed lives. It's awesome. Let's talk about something happy, because you have made millions happy with everything you do. Your music, you had a new song out, Ass Like Mine, which again, I don't know why I didn't get a call to be in the video. Yes, you can.
Like, I feel like nothing bad has ever happened from Drag Race. Like, it's a daisy chain effect. The queens got on the show. The people that work on the show got great money and Emmys. We travel. We get to work where and when we want. The bars get money. The queens in the local bars get money. Like, there's never been a negative effect from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
It's the behavior of the queens that cause the negativity. Whether it's illegal shit that, you know, with arrests or whatever, or just pride and ego getting in the way of something that was so beautiful. I can understand that there's a lot of queens also that have genuine issues with the show or whatever, but that's a personal thing. But I don't think that anything negative has ever come from Drag Race.
Yeah.
And it's given me an opportunity to do this brand new song, which I released just before COVID.
The song, right, when the song was great, the video was great, and like it's so cool to see not only queens put out to show different sides of them, but also to really take control and have autonomy over their career and be able to dive and to go into a different lane successfully. Because sometimes, reality TV or just in Hollywood in general, you don't get many opportunities to be good at a lot of things, right? So, and when you do, and you are good at that, it's a win-win. And with Ass Like Mine, we've never really seen Morgan in that kind of like, I would say your own real like outfit that is just so originally, I guess, that I've never seen you in that type of space, and I loved it, and it felt so authentic and so organic, and we want more. When are we going to get more?
Well, I'm very lucky because that single was produced and written by Ellis Mia, who does a lot of Rue stuff. Just did a single with BTS, and I've been very friendly with him for a while. And he just said, "I've written this thing for you. I think you should come record." So we went in and we did it, and then I heard the final kind of draft, and I was like, "Wow!" And then that was all for me. But Ellis is a pusher, so he called Brad Hammer, and Brad Hammer got on board and came up with this really fantastic idea for the music video. He shot it, of course, and I was really lucky because I think I was so comfortable because I had all of my friends there, all of my drag sisters, and Brad got his dance group together, and it was just it was a really special time, and I really loved it though. I would do another one as soon as COVID's over, but oh God, your twin Tony's here.
I know, hey Tony.
Tony. But it was fun. It was a great experience. I'll do another one, absolutely, but obviously we're not allowed to kind of mask it out.
Well, Morgan, like you have done drag for what, over 20 years now? You've been in the game for
close, yeah.
And you've been able to tour the world. You are Drag Race royalty. You are legendary. You have fans around the world that your Morgasms are just so dedicated. They're so loyal. Would you ever?
Tony's a huge fan. Tony is a huge fan.
No, Tony's incredible. No, we're fans of Tony. Again, see, it goes back to the universe of Drag Race. There's so many. It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Drag Race Cinematic Universe. There's all these people like Tony Moore and yourself that are just that have their part in making up how it's so beautiful. Does that make sense? Like everyone plays a role in the beauty that is Drag Race. But will there ever come a time where you'll step away and say, you know what, I'm hanging up my wigs. My lace front is out of commission permanently.
I thank you, Tony. I appreciate that, saying that I won the lip sync. And Jason does look like a spicy snack. Yeah, I've had a great time doing drag. I really enjoy performing. This COVID has kind of opened my eyes to different opportunities. I won't be quitting drag soon, but there are things in the works to move out of it, for sure.
Does Morgan want to get married? Does Morgan want children? Does Morgan want 4 dogs and a ranch in Idaho?
3 dogs.
What kind of dogs are they?
The Shih Tzus.
You have 3 Shih Tzus.
Yeah.
They're a handful. How?
Well, they're easy. They're not like the long-haired Shih Tzus like you see in like the dog shows. They're very shortcut, and they're just happy. They're the happiest dogs ever. My drag daughter's here. Hi, Beyonce. And a ranch. Yes, I do have a ranch. Well, it's not a ranch anymore. I got rid of the stables and everything. I live in Miraloma, which is down by Ontario, and my house has a quite a big backyard, which used to be an arena and horse stables and a barn, but that's all been wiped away. I can't.
So you have dogs, you had a ranch, and fearless, because you said that you're ready to rock and roll. Things don't really scare you, but what does scare you, Morgan? Because in all the years I've seen you, and all the years I've talked to you and known you, you always are so brave and you're so forthright. But what keeps you up at night? Or is there something, hey Rhea, is there something that's like that doesn't sit well with you, that you think about, like about the future, about your life in general? Like what scares Morgan, the fearless Morgan?
I don't know. I'm afraid of heights. But I just wasn't raised to have regret, I guess, or fear. I confront my fears. That's the way I was raised. I just don't know. I don't go to sleep at night thinking, what if? Like the coulda, shoulda, woulda are the last words of a fool, you know? So I don't really entertain those things. I guess if I have a problem or if I'm scared of something, I just confront it head on. But yeah, I'm not very fear based. I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
And the older we get, the more that rings so true. Looking back on Drag Race, though, Morgan, is there one moment in just your career on the show where you're just
Yes.
like, oh my God, that was everything. Thank you, Jesus. Or a moment that you're like, damn, I wish I could have did that again. Wish I could have did that
Both.
over.
I have
Okay.
both. I have both. So the thing that I think that was like the best thing that's ever been said to me or happened to me was when RuPaul said that I had the tightest lip sync she had ever seen. I think that really kind of she nailed that in for me, that this was my passion and this is what I was the best at doing. Yes, there's been many seasons since that comment, but it was still a comment she made to me.
Right.
Excuse me. And I think that was like the best thing that I got from Drag Race. Obviously, my friendship with Raven has still grown a lot. Is another really great thing. But my friendship with Sonique, we became friends on RuPaul's Drag Race, and we're still very, very, very close. She's my sister, and I'm like her brother. We're that, and she has blossomed into the most beautiful woman. And she has singles out. I can't wait for you to get on with her because she has a lot to say. And then the worst thing, was when we were up for elimination, when RuPaul said, "Morgan, what are you laughing at?" And I wasn't laughing at Ru. I was laughing at like something that one of the girls and I had kind of figured out, that like if we were in this position, like we were like, "Oh bitch, I think you're going to go home." And when they moved me to that position, I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
So, like one of the girls waved bye-bye and I bust out into laughter. And I think that's my biggest like chagrin thing, is like RuPaul thinking like I was laughing at her putting me in the bottom, but I was like,
but you weren't. But look, here's the thing. I got to turn my hat around because this fitted hat is just doing my head in. But I mean, no matter any way you cut it, like I talked to Derek Barry, and Derek talked about his experience on the show, and just in any way you cut it, though, and I don't want to say it's television magic because it's beyond that. I mean, it's beyond, but the experience alone is just so, like, sometimes you sit there and you're like, wow, like this has actually happened. You know, like it's even for me. Look, I roll out.
Can you? I think you're gonna have to block someone.
They're being okay. Let's see. Hide. Bam. Got it. Hide. Okay, they're gone. Gone.
Okay.
Sorry. I should pay more attention to the comments, but I'm just so into talking to you.
No, I just kept seeing the same person commenting, and I was like, no, you're gonna have to go.
But like even like just rolling stuff into the workroom for me is like the shit. You know, it's like because it's just we're creating history. We have. Much like shows like Will and Grace and the Golden Girls and Queer as Folk and the L Word, we are now inserting ourselves into a part of television history. And more than that, it has become a global phenomenon because of what it stands for. And even if you don't win Drag Race, even if you get eliminated, just to be able to have been a part of is life-changing, don't you think?
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, going home first sucks. I mean, I went home first, but at least I got brought back. Top 5, what's up?
What's up?
What's up? But like with, Derek going home first, she's still Derek, and it was kind of sad to see like the dramatic side, I guess, of Derek, where I know she's so loving usually, but maybe true colors are shown when that happens. But maybe that's what people needed to see. But with this, like, Miss Mojo does things about us, and look at you, you're working with entertainment, like television, like it's amazing. Like when I see you up there, I'm like, that's my fucking friend, dude. That's my fucking friend. So, and we have been blessed. We will forever be remembered in this kind of time in history. But we'll also, what do you do with what you've been given? You now work in entertainment television. Like you interview stars. Like you have the desk in the background. I see it. I'm like, yes, bitch, desk in background. And you are the best. And it, like, what we were talking about earlier with, the pit crew, the pit crew is like one of the main veins of Drag Race. Like it's one of the main things. And I think that I would love to see the fans really shout out some more pit crew love. I think that would be a lot of fun.
And agreed, and they do. And I think it's just one yummy, delicious gumbo of just so many things that people get to pick and choose from. And at the end of the day, it's all love. And yeah, the pit crew. I've been saying, look, we work hard. The pit crew works hard. People don't know, but we work hard. It's hard to be in a Speedo in a studio that's hella cold, holding shit up for a long time. It's
so cold.
It's cold
because all of the queens are padded in tits and hair, so we're warm.
And we're just like, hi. but yeah, Morgan, I feel you, girl. I feel you. But if you're not hanging up your wig anytime soon, you got the 3 dogs. What does Morgan do in his downtime? Like what people want to know, like the really like the clandestine things about Morgan, like do you use 2-ply toilet paper? Do you what fragrance do you wear? Do you sleep naked? Things like that. Like, tell us, Morgan. Inquiring minds want to know.
So I'm weird when I sleep. I do not sleep. I sleep in my underwear, but I do not sleep. I have to burrito. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I have to have the covers, even if it's 2,000 degrees. I have to sleep in covers, and I have to be cocooned in. It's the weirdest thing. My cousin Sherry Lee is here from Scotland. Hi, Sherry Lee.
Hey, Sherry.
But I don't know. I'm really not that. I'm very self-entertaining. So like during COVID, a normal day for me is I bought a bike. I bought an exercise bike, and I've been doing that. I do that every day, and I jump rope. That's my little exercise moment. But basically, what I do is I read and I clean.
I love to clean. Yeah.
And
clean.
then of course, I play my PlayStation. I love my PlayStation. I am a gamer.
See, Morgan, the last game console I played was like Super NES in 1991. I'm so not that dude.
I have one of those. I bought them all. I have every one. In each room in my house, there's a Super Nintendo, and not each, but one room has the Super Nintendo, one room has the Nintendo, one has the Sega, one has the Atari, and the PlayStation. Girl, don't get me started.
Are you dating? Are you? I mean, are you?
I have
like
a partner? Yeah.
Okay, because like. Morgan, we've never talked about this. I mean, you don't have to give us all the details, but life in quarantine with your partner, how's that been?
Oh, well, I almost killed him a couple. No, I'm just kidding. He's a really great guy. I don't really talk about my partner publicly a lot because the last time I did that, it didn't turn out well. But that was his decision, and that was a personal thing. This partner that I've been with, his name is Hassan. And he's just the most amazing guy. Like, he's the most amazing guy. He's from Lebanon. And we have been together 6 years.
Wow.
6 years. Coming up for 7 in August.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, I completely understand keeping that part of your life private and a little bit separate, because even with me and Munchkin, like, people know about Munchkin, but like, I don't post a lot of pictures on social media, and it's just because there's certain things about your life that you need to protect, and especially when you love someone, it's even deeper It's even deeper than just protecting your relationship. You're protecting that person.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody in the family knows about him, like, because he's constantly doing wigs for Vanjie or, you know, Mayhem. Like, he does wigs for the queens, like, and he sells wigs, and he does all my beautiful hair, of course. But he's always around, like, he's always involved. He's just not. I just don't post a lot about him. And maybe that's just to protect him, I guess, because there was, like, with the previous partner, there was a lot of just horrible things.
Yeah.
Horrible things. And it was a different time then, of course. But, like, everybody knows Hassan, and everybody that does know him loves him. Like, he is just and he's, like, the anti-Morgan.
But that's
a little high maintenance.
But I mean, that's the Gemini in you, you know, like you have to have someone that's antithetical. Your moment with Mayhem last week on the show was probably one of the most, I would say, authentically visceral and very, like, even I was choked up because television wants to capture moments like that. And sometimes they're just like, but clearly you guys have this bond. And it was like you shared a moment of release when she cried and you hugged and even I thought it was more intense than you sending Mayhem home on the main stage, but when you came backstage, it was just like you were that safe space for her. And how did you want to ball as well? Because all of America did, and then people did articles on it, Morgan, because it was like it was just so real. It was like I get it, being there for your friend and being able to release and let go and to just be like I fought a good fight and here we are and let's just go home.
Look, I've been, like I said, like, even when Mayhem said my best friend, 20 years best friend, awkward, I died. I thought it was the funniest thing, but we have been best friends for 20 years and she's put up with my shit for 20 years. So I mean, she should have got the crown for that anyway. But going on there and lip sync assassinating, like, when the curtain raised up, I was really gagged because usually the queens that are safe are on one side and the bottom two are over here, and then the two girls that lip sync are up in the front. But everyone was seated, so it was really very confusing. And then when the curtain raised up and she saw me before I saw her, because obviously the lights are blinding. And she was screaming. So I was like, okay. And I was confused because I was like, if she's screaming, she must be cool. She must be safe. Like, there's no, like, she's fine. And then I could just see the look on her face, and I knew she was in the bottom. I just knew it. I knew it. And then after the lip sync, when I had to pull the lip sync, what they didn't show is, like, when I pulled the lipstick out and looked at it, I just felt like vomiting everywhere.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my God. And it was the worst thing I've ever done. It was horrible. It was really just not great. The lip sync was obviously a fun thing to do, but, like, even I couldn't even believe her name was on the lipstick. I didn't know what to do. I was like, I felt like jumping over and punching everyone in the face for sending my best friend home.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, James.
Hey, James is incredible. James, another awesome person that gets it.
So then when it came time to do the kind of the workroom with Mayhem, I was just like constantly just not feeling good. I knew it was coming, and then when I went in there, I just busted into tears.
Yeah.
I knew how bad she wanted it, and, like, I know that there's a lot of people that, like, really, really love May, and I know that there's a lot of people that are like, nah, but if you met her for 5 seconds, if you saw her perform one time, you would fall in love with her. Like, what TV shows didn't show everything that Mayhem was. But she left with integrity. She left with dignity. She left with her head held high. But just being there, the minute I looked at her, I just started crying. I just couldn't even deal with it. And she has changed me to be a better queen and a better man. I've not always been the nicest of people. and she showed that to me, basically. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and being her friend for 20 years, she's grown exponentially, of course. We all have grown, but like I've seen leaps and bounds, and especially coming from a queen that's seen all of her friends be on RuPaul's Drag Race, and she never ever got on until season 10. She auditioned for 10 seasons, and then she finally got on. Like, I cannot tell you, when she walked out on the X for season 10, all the girls had walked out, but when Mayhem walked out, the bitches were banging the stage. They were going fucking nuts. So that must tell you something. Like, if all the queens love her, you know, and respect her drag, like, that's my best friend. I just am so proud of her. I love her. It was a sad moment. Anyway, I'm rambling.
No, but I mean, you're being very effusive about someone that means so much to you, and that came across so clearly in last week's episode, because me and my husband were just like, wow. And to be able to share in this experience together of Drag Race, and even if it was a moment where she was being sent home, still being able to be there for your friend when it mattered on that level is, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, really.
It would have been better if we had lip synced against each other. Because that would have been the most dirtiest lip sync. You want to talk about showgirl shit?
Right.
We don't give a fuck. Because outside, and we've been friends for so many years, and we've competed against each other in competitions left and right, and we remove our friendship from the competition. Like, we know who we are and what we are together as friends, but when it comes down to competition, it comes down to competition, bitch, and that's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. Hi, Kimora Black.
Hey, Kimora chiming in. Hey, Kimora. Yeah, again, two of my favorite queens, and you said, you are so true. I told May this, but when I first saw Mayhem at Showgirls, she did an Anita Baker Sweet Love. I know, yo, Morg, I know. I was leaving, like, oh, I'm going home. The song comes on, May comes out. I'm throwing 20s at her, just like my whole paycheck, because she was just slaying this song, which, you know, like, queens don't normally reach back and do like an Anita. They want to give you like Ariana, whatever, but just the simple, effortless eloquence of May, and that was like years ago, and I've been a fan ever since. So when she walked out on season 10, I was just like, yep, it's about time. And look after look after look turned it. And just a good person, just a damn good person. I feel you, May.
When my mom came out to the United States to visit, she lives in Australia, and she came out to visit, Mayhem performed that for her. Anita Baker, and my mom was like hysterical, and it was just, yeah, Mayhem's a cool bitch.
A cool bitch. I have taken up so much of your time, Morgan. We got the new single. We have Ass Like Mine out. We have the podcast, Funk You Up. What the name of the podcast?
Funk What You Heard.
Funk What You Heard. I just gave you a Bruno Mars song. My bad.
No, it's good. But obviously it's a play on words of fuck what you heard. So
right.
Funk What You Heard. Because I thought it would be tongue-in-cheek and funny. But it's a really great way for me to share the music that I love. And, of course, every day on my Instagram story, I do a song of the day. And this is just a chance for kings and queens and entertainers across the board to learn new music and let people hear something that they haven't heard in a long time or something new. And it just makes drag spicier. It just makes it more entertaining. You know you're a good entertainer when you can walk out onto a stage doing a song that no one has ever heard and make people go, oh shit, what is this? That's
agreed. That's happened many times when I've seen you at Showgirls. That's why I'm like, I would as a matter of fact, I think I've asked you, like, what song were you lip syncing to, because it was so hot, because I had never heard it. But every reason why drag is so ahead of the curve, why people and entertainers in drag are always the tastemakers and the trendsetters, because
I'm British. Because I get music from both sides of the pond, and my sister sends me stuff from Australia, and all my cousins send me stuff from Scotland, so I get new music all the time. So I'm like, fuck yes.
Yeah. The gems just keep coming. I love it. Morgan, you have an amazing weekend. Love and adore you. Thank you for spending your time with me. Happy 4th, and look, keep on killing them, because we need people like you to keep on being brave, keep on being fearless, and just keep on fighting the good fight. So thank you. You stay safe, okay?
All right, I love you. And we can't celebrate the 4th until we release Kids from Cages. I'm just saying. All right, I love you. Everybody, make sure you guys, all of my Morgasms, follow Jason Carter Official. And you can find him doing lives every Friday.
No, Monday through motherfucking Friday, girl.
Monday through Friday.
I'm working day and night.
And he interviews all of your favorite RuPaul's Drag Race queens and everybody else, even Tonti. But we love you guys. Be good.
Bye, Morgan.
Bye.